Joining me now is the Energy Minister, Josh Frydenberg. Thanks for your time today, Minister. You've been big in this area, but it seems customers are still being ripped off. Do you agree with that?
Well, certainly they're not getting their best possible deal from their energy retailers. This report makes for pretty sombre reading for those energy retailers. It shows that people have less confidence in them than the banks. That's saying something, given what we've seen through the Royal Commission. But it also reinforces, Tom, that we're on the right track to simplify people's bill offerings, to require that they be notified when they're coming off their market offers or their discounted periods, and to encourage them to switch to a retailer which will provide a better deal, as you say, up to $800 better than what they may already be on.
Still a lot of confusion, so that's why people need these comparison sites. And one of the issues in this report is the comparison sites are often not all that good. They don't always list the cheapest deals, and they also have these hidden commissions as well. Do the comparison sites need some regulation?
Well, certainly that's one of the recommendations out of the AEMC, and it is one that we should follow through on. The key point is that there is a government comparison site, and that's energymadeeasy.gov.au, which has had over 1 million hits since we met with the energy retailers, the Prime Minister, the Treasurer, the Deputy Prime Minister and I last August. People have been moving to better deals, and 260,000 Australians have moved off their offers where their discounts had expired to a better deal. So we are starting to see people move to other offers, but we need to encourage them to do so. I'd say the other key point about this report is that it covers the price period from 2016 to 2017, where prices went up in most jurisdictions except parts of Queensland. What we have seen over the last 6 months is that the wholesale price of power come down by nearly 30% compared to the same time last year. That's not covered in the price chart produced by the report. And right now, we have seen, as the head of the AMC has just said, some of the major companies reduce their power prices, which shows that we have turned the corner.
Two of them have. Energy Australia is going to make an announcement soon, we understand. Are we expecting there another good result, another, albeit small? They have been small so far, but heading in the right way, reduction in prices?
Well, the good news for customers is that Energy Australia is reducing their prices in Queensland and marginally in New South Wales, but keeping them flat for South Australia. And again, this follows on announcements from the other large energy retailers. For a small business in southeast Queensland, this could be worth up to $470 a year in reduced power prices, and for a household for around $80 a year. That's not an insignificant amount of money, but most importantly, it shows that the reforms that we are making to the market to put downward pressure on wholesale prices is starting to be passed through to consumers, and I think it will only get better from here.
You say it'll only get better. A headline in the Daily Telegraph suggests otherwise, that AGL is going to be importing gas from 2020 when international prices could be peaking. Now, this seems bizarre. We're in the middle of this huge gas export rush, apparently, and they're going to be importing gas because they're exporting it at the same time. What's going on here?
Well, AGL have made a very poor decision to export 11 years worth of gas that could have otherwise gone to their domestic customers. That's some $2 billion worth of gas, and they did that back in 2015 for an 11-year period. It's completely inexplicable as a decision by their board and by their management. I think they've got a lot of explaining to do to their customers as to why they are paying more for their gas than they should be because of a decision by the company to export so much of their gas. It may have been a decision made in the interests of the shareholders for that point in time, but it's certainly not in the interest of their customers or the Australian community as a whole.
You've got a gas reservation trigger, though. Will you use that to prevent this happening?
Well, as you know, we have required the LNG companies, the gas exporters, to put more gas into the domestic market, and that has worked. An additional 70 petajoules of gas has come into the domestic market. When you consider that 1 petajoule of gas is enough to keep Wollongong or Warrnambool going for a whole year, that's a lot of extra domestic supply. The ACCC has reported that prices have fallen by up to 50% for customers. So what we have done in the domestic gas market has made a difference and is working. But our job has become a lot harder because of what AGL decided to do when they exported 11 years worth of gas, $2 billion worth of gas that could have otherwise gone on to the domestic market.
So just finally, that trigger can't actually stop what's happened because AGL have locked this in from 2015. Your trigger couldn't help this situation?
No, they sold their gas to one of the exporters who obviously sent it to customers in Asia. What our trigger focuses on is ensuring that these companies, who obviously have their own gas supplies domestically, put more into the market, and we are getting a result from them. But what AGL did was a very, very poor decision. They have a lot of explaining to do to their customers because their customers are paying more for their gas than they should have been if AGL had decided not to export that amount of gas.
Energy Minister Josh Frydenberg, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.